Hey, what's up, everybody? Long time no talk. It's been a couple of months, right? It's been a while. And look, I've been off the grid. I've had a lot of things going on. I promise you guys that in due time, I will update you and let you know what I've been up to and why I've been kind of off the grid. But for right now, let me just say that I've got enough time to drop in and do an occasional recorded video like this. I'm not ready to come back with a live podcast just yet. I don't have that much time available, but I can drop a video like this every now and then. And I want to do that when something inspires me to do so. And so today we had a great heavyweight fight between Zhilei Zhang and Joe Joyce. And Big Bang Zhang scored the upset stoppage win over Joyce. It is an upset. It's not a major upset, but it is an upset. There are a lot of people that thought just stylistically Zhang had a good shot, and I was one of those people. And 2-3 months ago when this fight was signed, I talked about it on my podcast, The Neutral Corner, and I mentioned to all of you that I thought this was going to be a really good heavyweight scrap. This was a great style matchup, and that Big Bang Zhang was an improved fighter, an underrated fighter that a lot of people were sleeping on, and you saw all that come to fruition tonight over in the UK, where Zhang gets the big victory. And look, I don't think it's hyperbolic to say at this point in time that Zhilei Zhang might be the third best heavyweight in the world. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? But before all of you jump down my throat and yell at me, I understand that in terms of resume and overall resume, you still got to have Anthony Joshua up there. You still got to have Deontay Wilder up there. I get that. Those guys are going to be in most people's top five. Obviously, at the very top, it's Usyk and Fury, right? And then it's the field. It's those two guys and then everybody else. My point is, after Usyk and Fury, the division is completely wide open. It's wide open at this point. And you could make a case that in terms of head-to-head matchups, again, Usyk and Fury, that's your number one, number two, however you want to slice that up. Those are clearly the two top guys. But 3, 4, 5, there are people that want to put like AJ and Wilder and maybe Ruiz or somebody like that up there. Like, I get it, but you can make an argument that 3 and 4 and 5 is Zhang, Hrgovic, and Joyce. You could even maybe say Big Baby Anderson's ready, to be right there. So the new class of the heavyweight division, the new school is here, and it is Big Bang Zhang. I still think Joe Joyce is a player. I'll talk more about him in a second, obviously, and what's next for him. Big Baby Anderson is right there. Jared Anderson's right there. I think he's ready to compete right now against the best in the division. Daniel Dubois, don't sleep on him. I still think he has some potential. And then Filip Hrgovic, who I thought Zhang beat when they fought last year. Great fight, great heavyweight fight, but I thought Zhang won that. But the fact that Hrgovic was so competitive with Zhang proves that he is a top 10 heavyweight, maybe top 5. So look, head to head, the version of Big Bang Zhang that we saw tonight, he probably beats Anthony Joshua. He probably beats Deontay Wilder. Those left hands that he was landing on Joyce, right? Joyce's chin held up to it. His skin, his eyes did not. His nose did not. I don't know if Anthony Joshua and especially Deontay Wilder, as chinny as he is, I don't think they can stand up to those big left hands from Zhang. And so far, Zhang has showed a really good chin in his career, taking some big shots. So, look, right now, after those top 2 heavyweights, as I mentioned, it's wide open, right? On any given night, any of these guys can step up and have a big moment, right? I don't know if there's one of these fighters that's going to separate themselves from the pack. If there is one that does that, it's going to be Jared Anderson. If he is who we think he is, he's going to be the guy that separates himself from the pack. But it's going to take some time to get there. He's a young guy. Top Rank is not going to rush him, and I don't think they should. There's no reason to. The heavyweight division as it stands right now, Fury and Usyk need to fight. Those are the top two guys. They need to fight to make an undisputed champion. We have the opportunity here to make an undisputed champion. We had the opportunity back in 2014. Deontay Wilder and Shelley Finkel blocked it when Klitschko wanted to fight Stavern and give Wilder step-aside money and give him a guaranteed shot at the winner, which would have been Klitschko. It was Shelley Finkel and Deontay Wilder who said, no, we don't want that. And they basically took less money to fight for one belt when they could have fought for undisputed. Years later, over the years, we had opportunities for Wilder to fight Joshua for undisputed. That blew up. We had opportunities for Fury to fight Joshua for undisputed. That blew up. And here we are now where Fury and Usyk have not been able to get it done to make undisputed. I blame both sides. Okay, I think both sides do share blame, but the lion's share of the blame, the majority of the blame, does go on Tyson Fury. And he has a track record here. He has held up the heavyweight division since 2015 when he was on performance-enhancing drugs and shouldn't have even been allowed to fight for the heavyweight championship. So it's a mess at the top until those two fight. But right underneath, you have some interesting things happening. And the division is in flux. And look, dude, head-to-head, again, Zhang tonight, this version of him, would have absolutely given Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder fits. He would have been competitive, highly competitive, with Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. I truly, truly believe that. And you can make a case that this guy's undefeated. When he came to America, he was seen as lumbering and kind of awkward, off balance. He didn't really get power in his punches. He didn't know how to punch with his body and put his weight into it. He has worked his butt off. Zhilei Zhang has really, really worked very, very hard on his craft. It's something he takes very, very seriously. And he has improved greatly in recent years. And now, coming off the fight with Hrgovic, which again, I thought he won. That's why I say he could be undefeated right now. And obviously he beat Joyce tonight. And both of those guys are top 10 heavyweights. Joyce was a top 5 rated heavyweight. So that's got to put Zhang in the top 5, right? He's beaming with confidence right now. Absolutely beaming with confidence. And he has a version of one of the belts, which, interim belt or whatever it is. I can't even remember which group it is. I don't really give a shit. But he will be in line for, I think, Usyk at some point, or if Usyk and Fury do fight later this year, eventually he'll be in line for the winner of that fight. He has now gotten himself in position for that. The best thing Zhang could do is, instead of waiting for that fight to happen, dude, stay busy. Stay busy. Take an opponent, a lesser opponent or whatever, just to stay busy and work on some things and keep that momentum going, because he has great momentum right now. Now, as far as Joe Joyce, I looked on Twitter and, there wasn't that much traffic on Twitter about this fight, which is surprising to me. But, I told you guys back, if you go back and look at the podcast back in like February, I said this fight was going to deliver, but it was falling under the radar, right? There were a lot of people that weren't like as excited for this fight because it doesn't have the big names, but I knew it would deliver. Anyway, the people that were tweeting about it, I saw some people saying things like, oh, Joe Joyce is finished. He should just retire. He should just hang it up. Guys, slow down. It's one fight, and it's the heavyweight division. No division has more turmoil and just crazy stuff that can happen in any given night than the heavyweight division. Okay. And Joyce does a lot of things well. I'm still high on Joe Joyce. The thing with him is he is stiff. He doesn't move his upper body. He's never going to be that guy, right? He's never going to move his head. He's never going to move his at the waist. He's just not very nimble. He's not that guy. His feet move pretty good and his hands move pretty good. He's pretty fluid. He's not fast, but he's fluid. So there are some tools there. The one thing you could do with a guy like him is just teach him to parry and block punches. So parrying punches is simply turning and catching it, right? Catching a punch like you have a mitt, pretending your glove is a mitt and just catching the shot like you're working mitts with somebody. That's pretty much what parrying is, right? Blocking is getting your hand and holding it tight on your head, right? Holding your glove hard to your head and catching a shot. Sometimes you can roll with a shot. You can roll into a shot when you block it so that you can counter with a hook, things like that. You can even get your arm out at a 45-degree angle and catch a looping right hand if you're strong enough and you're comfortable enough to do that. There are different ways that you can block and parry punches, and you don't have to move your head. And that is a skill set. That is something that Joyce can work on. There are also ways to just move your body. I'm talking in terms of your feet, your positioning, right? Your angles. When you see a big right hand coming, lunging in and getting on your opponent's right shoulder, or I'm sorry, left shoulder, getting on their left shoulder when they throw that big right hand and moving them and then getting your punch off. That is a move that Lennox Lewis worked on. That's a move that Vladimir Klitschko worked on. That's something Emmanuel Stewart taught those guys. And then I got to say this, it's going to piss off some of you. Clinching. Yeah, I know. Clinching is hard to watch, right? But guys, it is a part of heavyweight boxing going all the way back to the greats. And it drives me nuts when people like wax poetic about, like, let's say Muhammad Ali, about how he was this action-packed fighter. If you actually watch his fights with Foreman, not the highlight package you've seen on SportsCenter 1,000 times, but watch the actual fight with Foreman, with Frazier, etc., Ali held more than everybody. People bitched about Klitschko. They bitched about Lennox Lewis. Ali held way more than both of them combined, okay? And I'm not picking on Ali. Jack Johnson did it. Joe Louis did it. It is part of heavyweight boxing. So if Joe Joyce can learn to do that in a tactical way, to lunge in, get in on a guy's shoulder when he shoots with looping kind of shots, long shots, get inside on him and clinch, move him, position him, then get shots off. He has a future. Do I see Joyce being the undisputed heavyweight champion or anything? No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying he still has a bright future. Tonight, his chin was able to take the shots from Zhang. His eyes, his nose, his face was not able to do that. And sometimes, look, the eyes are tricky, dudes. Sometimes I've hit guys in sparring with hard punches right in the eye, and their eye is fine. And then I've just barely grazed guys, and their eye is sliced right open. Same thing with people's nose. I've just touched them with a jab, and their nose breaks. And then I batter them with a right hand, and it's fine. It's completely random. The way the skin and everything on the face reacts, it's completely random. A lot of times it's just about angles, zigging when you should zag, right? And you just get caught with something. And so tonight, Joyce's face didn't hold up. It didn't hold up. His chin did, though. Although I gotta say, he was hurt in that second round. He got wobbled, and that referee, I thought, jumped in there and had this awkward break between the fighters that was completely unnecessary and robbed Zhang of a potential chance to make something happen there in that second round. But anyway, by the way, I also have to mention this. The judges had Joyce up. I think all three of them did. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, guys, but I think all three judges had Joyce up at the time of the stoppage, which is absolutely disgusting, but not at all surprising, okay? Joyce maybe won a round in this fight. Maybe. He might have won a round. I think maybe you could give him the third or fourth, somewhere in there. You give him a round, but that's it. Zhang, this is pretty much one-way traffic. Zhang dominated the fight. So to have Joyce ahead, listen, going into this fight, I favored Joyce. And my bet, if I were a betting man, which I'm not, but if I were going to bet, I would have bet Joyce by decision, because I told myself, regardless of how many punches Zhang lands, I thought it could end up looking like the Hrgovic fight, where a lot of people, thought Zhang would win or thought he won, but the scorecards would go in Joyce's favor. That's kind of what I've expected. I even expected a possible late Joe Joyce stoppage, because I thought that Joyce's chin and everything would hold up and he'd just keep punching downhill on Zhang. That just didn't happen tonight. Props to Zhang for stepping on the gas earlier than normal. He could still do it a little bit more. There's still some things, obviously, he can improve on. But the straight, short left hand, he threw it more against Joyce than he did against Hrgovic. He definitely learned, I need to shoot this punch more. And when he saw the eye blowing up, the right eye, I think it was the right eye of Joyce blowing up, Zhang very intelligently said, I'm going to keep throwing this punch. He doesn't wind up on that straight left hand. Remember, he's a southpaw, okay? So that's his power punch. He doesn't wind up on it. He shoots it as an arm punch, but he is a massive human being. He is a mountain of a man. So when he throws that punch and puts his butt into it and his back into it when he shoots it, he can throw it really short as an arm punch and it's going to get results. And that's what it did tonight. So it's a beautiful punch. And one of you guys on Twitter, I'm sorry, I forget your name, but one of you guys on Twitter said it reminded you of Corey Sanders. And I thought that was a very good comparison. I don't know if he's quite as quick and as powerful as Corey Sanders was, but it's the closest thing to a Corey Sanders left hand that exists in this era of heavyweight boxing. Corey Sanders, by the way, criminally underrated heavyweight boxer, particularly with that straight left hand. It was just sharp and lethal. Anyway, so where are we at here? I mentioned Joe Joyce and the things that he can work on. He needs to probably change trainers and get with a trainer that will focus on parrying and catching punches. And I know this is going to frustrate some of you, but Joe Joyce should probably become one of those heavyweights that only throws 30, 40 punches around, and he tries to feint to get you to punch, catches your punch, and then counters. I think that type of style would work better for Joyce if he wants to continue to do this for a while. Okay, the style he fights with now, that granite's been cracked, and I just think it's not going to work out well for him. But if he can go out there and feint, get you to punch, catch your punch, counter, and repeat, and do that and score points and wear you down and then knock you out late. And by the way, that's going to include clinching and holding and mauling and grappling, and then wear you down late, a la Klitschko after he got with Emmanuel Stewart. I do think he can stick around longer and have some success in this division. And I know that's going to be frustrating for us to watch. Frustrating, but effective. So I'm just saying he can incorporate that. He doesn't have to become a totally new person, because I know a lot of you guys will say he's in his late 30s and can't change. I hear you, but that he's never going to be fleet of foot and be like a really fast guy. He's just not that guy. But he can do that stuff. He can include those wrinkles in his game. For Zhang, as I mentioned before, he's beaming with confidence, right? He's an improved fighter. He has great momentum. You can make an argument right now that he has the most momentum of any heavyweight. I want to say it's Usyk, but Usyk hasn't fought, right? Because he's been sitting around trying to make this fight with Fury. Same thing with Fury. You know, he had the fights with Wilder, and I get that many people enjoy those fights, but Fury's momentum is all but gone right now. The guy with the most juice, it's two. I would say it's Zhilei Zhang and it's Jared Anderson. Those are the two guys right now that have the most juice, that have the most energy going. So anyway, regardless of where you rank them, you know, if you have Zhang number 3, again, as I said at the top of this video, you could absolutely make that argument. If you have number 5, I think that's fine too. But he's clearly in the top 5 right now, and he's ready to fight any of the top guys. He's another heavyweight that's up there in age, I think late 30s. So get him in there against one of the top guys. Let's see it. He just beat one of the top guys because Joyce was a consensus top 5 heavyweight. But I think he's ready to challenge Fury and Usyk right now. Just style-wise, I don't think Fury wants to fight this guy. I really, really don't. And now you see why Fury was calling out Joe Joyce. You see what Fury saw in him and why he was wanting to go in that direction. I don't know if he's going to be so quick to fight Zhang with that left-hand stance. Fury don't like southpaw. I don't know about that, because that straight left hand from Zhang is gonna land on Fury. Now with Usyk, I just think Usyk could probably outbox him, but I'd love to see either of those fights, man. It'd be fantastic. So guys, that's how I see the heavyweight division right now. Again, I'm going to drop it and just do some occasional videos like this in the coming weeks. We have a big fight coming up later this month. It's not quite the super fight some people are trying to make it out to be. By the way, I've talked to some ticket brokers and stuff. The ticket sales are not necessarily flying off the charts right now, but anyway, it's still a big fight, right? I guess it's the junior welterweight division. It's a catchweight. Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. We'll talk about that and some other things. So we'll do that for a while, but eventually the neutral corner is going to be back. I promise you guys, live on Monday evenings like we always do. We're coming back for sure. But I got to say, I've been out for 2 months. Not one major fight has been signed in my 2-month absence. Not one major fight has been signed. Guys like Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Fury, Usyk, who I've mentioned, are all sitting on their butts. So it is disappointing, but it also kind of shows I was really not missing anything by taking a little break. Anyway, today I did enjoy this heavyweight fight, and so I wanted to make this video. Let me know what you guys think. Comment on here. What am I missing? Am I completely way off base here? And then again, I'll drop it and do a video, especially about Garcia and Davis. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. See you at the fights.